All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live with a Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, who has just come from the House chamber where Joe Biden delivered an hour-long State of the Union speech. Lauren Boebert was here with her reaction. She's going viral. She's viral across the internet for multiple reasons. Her incredible scarf that she wore to the event, for calling out Joe Biden to his face for his disastrous handle of the Afghanistan pullout. The drill, baby, drill. You can see it right there. Show us the scarf. Drill, baby, drill. There it is.
I'm backwards. Sorry. There we go.
American oil independence. But let's just start right off with the Congresswoman from Colorado. What was your takeaway from this State of the Union? First reaction.
Well, Benny, first of all, I'm really happy to be here with you and some fantastic patriots from all around America, rather than being in that State of the Union where Joe Biden couldn't even slow down enough to read the words in his script. I mean, come on, Joe, just read the lines. That's all you got to do. You got to show up, you got to read the lines, and then you get to leave. And he couldn't even do that. I was trying to start a crystal clear counter to see how many times he was going to be crystal clear about something, but I think I only caught one of them this time. So he wasn't feeling he wasn't feeling too crystal clear tonight. But you know, it's interesting the way this started out. Obviously, we are praying for the people in Ukraine. I wore my drill, baby, drill shawl tonight because we need to stop funding Russia's war.
Yes.
We do not need to be doing this. We need to be energy independent. We need to be energy dominant. And it's the horrible Democrat policies that have weakened America and weakened other nations throughout the world. But it was interesting because Joe Biden found that standing for Ukraine was a really great applause line. So he just kept at it. He went on and on and on because he's like, this is the only applause I'm going to get all night long. I just know it. And, you know, and sadly, he did go on to his other policies, and there were a lot of lies, a lot of mistruths. And unfortunately, he didn't talk about the real things that are affecting Americans.
The real thing that affected Americans that you called out to his face is him sending Americans home.
That's right.
Him sending Americans home in flag-draped coffins.
Flag-draped coffins.
Him checking his watch while that dignified transfer took place in his home state of Delaware, to the disgrace of our country, our military, our flag, those soldiers, their families. And you called him out. Can you walk our audience through this right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So Joe Biden was mentioning Afghanistan and not talking about the horrible withdrawal that took place, the shameful withdrawal that took place under his watch that he checked so frequently. We had 13 of our servicemen and women killed. I have a new Gold Star mom in my district who, in her words, said Joe Biden killed my son. And I feel that grief. I mourn with her. That was the most difficult call that I've ever had to make. And it still compares to nothing that she is going through right now. Losing her son, her son's son not ever being able to see his father's face. And Joe Biden wanted to talk about chemicals that cause cancer. Look, that stuff's terrible. Okay, let's take care of that. But this is real, and this is right now. This is real time. And Joe Biden didn't want to bring up the fact that he took orders from terrorists, the fact that he left American citizens behind, and the disgusting fact that he sent 13 of our Marines home in flag-draped coffins.
Yeah, I think the conflagration of his son, who did serve in the military, but didn't die as didn't die because of anything that happened with his military service. He wasn't KIA. He wasn't wounded. He ran for the Attorney General of Delaware. He was holding political office, actually, when he tragically got brain cancer. But I think it's very strange that Joe Biden tries to bring that conflagration, and he's done. This is like the 40th time he's done this. He's been called out a lot for it. It's a little strange and a little insulting. Have you spoken with the mother, the Gold Star mother in your district?
I have. Benny, that was the most difficult phone call I have ever had. And I've talked to her Many times after that, President Trump called her and spoke with her. She said that he had a very lengthy conversation with her and thanked her for her son's service. But more than that, he listened to her stories of who her son was. And that is the kind of leader that we need once again, a commander-in-chief that still to this day cares about our servicemen and women. And we're seeing this all throughout the world. America's weakness is affecting our allies and our enemies. Our allies can no longer trust us, and our enemies certainly do not fear us. Putin was watching what happened in Afghanistan. Putin has been watching our southern border be completely invaded by 2 million illegal aliens. Putin is watching the tyranny that is taking place in America. And that's why he's now at war with Ukraine.
So I just want to get this clear here. Did you yell 13 at Joe Biden? There's a lot of things going around on Twitter right now. It's going insanely viral.
Yeah.
What exactly did you yell? You could hear it clear as day, but what did you yell?
Yeah, so the 13 part is where I got a little loud. That's why everyone's picking that up. But he said that our men and women were sent home in flag-draped coffins. And I said, you put them in there. 13 of them. That's exactly what he did. He put 13 of our servicemen and women in flag-draped coffins. And worse than that, I don't even know if any of those soldiers are in those coffins whole. Our soldiers were blown away through his shameful negligence.
Yeah. And again, it bears repeating. He looked at his watch during the dignified transfer multiple times.
He sure did.
He was bored, and most especially, and this is true disgusting gaslighting, he didn't mention Afghanistan once in this entire speech. He didn't once talk about his disastrous pullout of Afghanistan, where thousands of Americans, the 13 of course, but also thousands of Americans, and then hundreds of thousands of Americans have been affected back here at home when they've received someone who has been killed in action, or somebody who has been blown up, or somebody who has lost a limb, or lost perhaps their will or their brain power, PTSD. I mean, it's been tragic what's happened in Afghanistan. So that conflict comes to a disastrous, calamitous close, and Joe Biden doesn't say a single damn thing about it?
Not one thing about it, Benny. And this has been absolutely shameful through and through. We had civilians working to get civilian aircraft into Afghanistan to fly our people home. Our number one hindrance, I was on the phone with the State Department almost daily for months, and that was our number one hindrance, getting Americans home. Even active service military that was left behind on special ops missions that were classified at the time, they were not able to get home. They finally were able to get on a civilian aircraft, one group of our special ops service members. And while they were in flight, our State Department cleared them to depart. And while they were in flight, they said, turn around, you are no longer clear to land on United States soil. So the pilot, knowing if he went back to Afghanistan, knowing everyone on board would be killed, he declared an emergency landing and landed in another country. Our State Department absolutely failed at getting our people home here on United States soil. This entire thing has been just a disgusting debacle, and this would have never happened under President Trump. That right there is why I introduced articles of impeachment for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
So, I mean, of course, leaving that aside, I truly believe that Nancy Pelosi won't be sitting in that seat this State of the Union next year. I don't think that Nancy Pelosi will be up there next year. It'll be a Republican in that seat, and presumably the Republican Party will be doing something about this administration. Will there be impeachment charges brought for Secretary Mayorkas? I mean, you can talk about the big fish, you can talk about Joe Biden, 10% for the big guy, but listen, people want action. They want oversight. What will be
Right.
happening when Republicans get Congress next year?
So I'm so happy that you said that word oversight. I do believe that we need oversight in everything that we oversee in Congress, not just in the oversight committee, but in natural resources. We need to have oversight into what is taking place with our energy production. And part of that oversight includes investigations. Part of that oversight it includes bringing these people in to testify before Congress so we can hold them accountable. So that is what I want to see in the majority. I don't know if we are going to be able to fully pass legislation and get it to the White House and get Joe Biden to sign this. I mean, of course, he admittedly signs things all the time that he doesn't know about. He says, I don't even know what this says, but I'm just going to go ahead and sign it. So maybe we could trick him with a bill or two, but I don't know if that's going to work every time. So maybe we could just get a constitutional carry in there. It's just kind of like the state.
You got to trick them. Yeah, sneak it in during pudding hour. Amendment. Right between pudding and Metamucil. Yeah.
Yes. So, but what we need to do is we need to have investigations on the 2020 election. We need to have investigations into the origin of COVID-19, into the WHO, into the handling of COVID. We need to have investigations regarding our southern border, regarding Afghanistan, these woke generals, Secretary Mayorkas. As far as I'm concerned, he could be impeached too. My name is on articles of impeachment for him as well, for his handling of the southern border. But I do want to see impeachments take place. This is far worse than any perfect phone call or perfect speech could ever have been. This has been a complete disaster under this one-party rule for the past year, and we need to see impeachment trials take place because of this. And it's going to take the American people calling in to leadership and letting them know that this is what they want, because that overwhelming response will provoke an action.
Congresswoman, as you sat there in the chamber listening to this speech, there's a lot of viral photos of you and Marjorie Taylor Greene going around, hopping up and yelling. I don't know exactly what this was for. It's great. It's a fantastic
I saw that one. So I started chanting, "Build the wall." Joe Biden said we need to secure the southern border. And I said, holy crap, he messed up and got one right. Build the wall. And so we started chanting. And so that's what that photo is right there. Build the wall.
Got it. Perfect. So what else did you take away from the speech?
Like I said, there was a lot of misinformation that was there. A lot of just kind of going on about COVID-19 and look, suddenly, things are getting a little bit better because the polling is really bad and COVID is dying due to bad ratings. But it's just really unfortunate that we didn't hear anything about America's energy. That is something that I really wanted to walk away hearing from the person who's sitting in the White House, whether it's the real White House or a fake White House set, whichever one he wants to sit in for the day, or a basement in Delaware. This person can change policies to affect our energy production here in America. He did it on day one, canceling the Keystone XL pipeline. He approved the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, lifted sanctions, said, go ahead, Putin, have it all. And he's shutting down our energy right here. And I really wanted to hear something about that. And it's really unfortunate that that wasn't brought up at all because we are funding Russia's war right now. I think it's $60 million a day that we are paying in these resources from Russia. And we need to liberate our allies in Europe as well, who were dependent on Russian oil. These not in my backyard extremists want to shut down our oil, natural gas, coal fired energy plants while China's building 200 of them, and will just allow the 40,000 children to mine in the in the Congo for cobalt with their bare hands. And then we buy solar panels from China and somehow feel good about ourselves. I'm over it. This doesn't work. Biden, I think I tweeted out something like this speech needs to be over. His Amex is maxed out. All we heard was spend, 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 and a bunch of pipe dreams. And you know what, business owners, Go ahead and give everybody a raise and lower your costs, and that'll solve everything. I think that was the solution to just about any problem that he said there was. Just cut the cost.
Yeah, this from a guy who's never created a job, never created a product,
Right.
never sold anything on an open market, never provided for anyone a good or service that they would want to buy in a open and capitalist market. A little strange that he's sitting there telling business owners how to run their business. It's a little strange also to watch an entire room full of people, not social distancing, not masked.
Yeah.
It's a little odd, a peculiar timing for the
Let me tell you about that, Benny.
Yeah.
So we got this letter from the Sergeant at Arms saying, first of all, that members, we were told that we would have to wear masks. After they first had us at 25 members from each body. And then they sent us an email. I didn't read my spam mail, so I was a day late on reading that one. But they said, hey, we're actually going to allow all of the congressmen and senators to come to work. We're going to let you in there. Oh. And that was so sweet of them.
How wonderful.
Thank you, Your Majesty, Pelosi. So then they said, we'll have to wear masks. We'll have to get PCR testing and socially distance. Well, they dropped the masks because CDC suddenly saw extra polling and said, we need to change this here. And then they were still requiring the COVID testing. Well, I'm a member of Congress, and I do not need a COVID test to enter the House chambers. And I do not need a golden ticket from Pelosi to enter the chamber either. I do not need assigned seating from Pelosi. So I went into the State of the Union in the House chambers with no COVID testing, with no golden ticket, with no assigned seating, and I certainly was not social distancing because I am not following political science.
Wow. I mean, it really is astonishing. We have like 10,000 people watching this right now because you are like truly going viral on multiple fronts for this State of the Union. And all the people and all the commenters were saying, wait a second, did I just see Joe Biden like rub his dentures up against some lady's face? Like, what the hell happened to our overnight? You gotta almost respect it. Like how quickly they pivoted from 2 years of lockdowns and 2 years of taking your bodily autonomy and saying that your body belongs to the government and we're going to tell you what to do with it, to like slobbering all over each other. I mean, as a person who's been, I'm sure you've gotten mask fines from Pelosi. I know there's multiple Republicans who've gotten mask fines. These fines are substantial. It's like thousands of dollars.
$2,500 each time. $2,500.
Well, this has got to make your blood boil when suddenly, the day before the State of the Union, Nancy Pelosi sitting there going, I don't care. And anyone can just make their own personal decision. What the hell?
Why now? Exactly. And, this has been the elitist mentality from the beginning. What is devastating is that the fence went back up around the Capitol this week. And it's just more semblance that this is not the people's house. This is Pelosi's house. And she wants you to know that she is in control of your life, of your country, of the decisions going forward. And it's just a very sad symbol of where our country is going.
Everyone saw the lies. We had the comments on screen, and they were just coming in hot and heavy. Everyone saw the lies. Nobody believed any of this trash about closing the border. Nobody believes any of these lies. And if Joe Biden can sit there and say that like he lowered the price of insulin or that he's lowering your energy costs, I mean, it's like, it's like clearly true. Oh, you're gonna pull a Marco Rubio here? Are you gonna pull a Rubio where you have a sip during the? Where you have a sip of water. Do you remember that from a couple of years ago when Marco Rubio had the sip of water during the response to State of the Union? Very good. So, okay, listen.
It's more than just water.
Good.
I'll do the Trump water.
Oh, I've been.
Remember that? I love him.
Lauren,
I love him, Benny.
I've had like 5 beers during our state. I've had like 5 Coors Lights. By the way, Colorado beer, you know me, Coors Light. We are drinking it.
I just toured the Coors facility in my district last week when I was there.
Love Coors Light. good family, good people. But I gotta ask, because there's thousands and thousands of people watching. They all know that Joe Biden lied. They all know this was crap.
Yeah.
They all know.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it? What are you, Congresswoman, going to be pushing Republicans to do about it? We know, we've seen someone like AOC can like literally uproot her party and move them in the direction of the voters, right? Or at least in the direction of her energy. So what are you going to do about it when Republicans give you the power?
Yes, well, more of the same, Benny. So much more of the same. I want more passion behind that. But reaching out to viewers like yours is vital, because getting them involved at every level is exactly what we need. And to keep up these public pressure campaigns and to make sure that the American people know the truth about what's going on here. Look, I'm looking forward to a red wave, but I would love a small majority. So every vote counted. I certainly want to take it over, but I want to take it over with real conservatives. I ran as a conservative. I won as a conservative, and I legislate as a conservative. I have a 100% conservative rating from National Right to Life, from Gun Owners of America, from Freedom Works, and so many more, because I'm doing exactly what I promised the voters back home that I would do. And I'm not afraid to back down. I'm not afraid of their cancel culture. I'm not afraid to speak my mind. I'm going to stand up for the people who sent me here, and I'm going to stand in between them and overreaching government as well. So, you know, I do have 10% rating, Benny, but that's from Planned Parenthood, and hey, they could go fund themselves.
So, speaking of funding themselves, will you be funding a Rust Belt from Joe Brandon? What was that? Did he lose his place? What happened? That's what everyone started joking about. They're like, he just suddenly stopped. Like the robot just malfunctioned in the middle of the.
There were several little gaps like that, and I would actually, I would like to go back and rewatch it and see what I missed too, because I was live tweeting the whole time, so I, was paying attention and tweeting too. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the beginning he misspoke and said Iranians rather than Ukrainians. And so I want to go back and listen to that too. I'm pretty sure he had everyone cheering for Iranians instead of Ukrainians. So I was like, maybe I got that one wrong, but I would like to double check that. There were a lot of really sad missteps that were taken. And like I said in the beginning here, just read the lines, Joe. Slow down and read the lines.
Yeah, read the lines. You got lines all over the faces of Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden. Pelosi was being really weird. I mean, do you know of anything going on behind the scenes with Nancy Pelosi? What's going on with her? Can you tell our audience? This is like the biggest meme coming out, other than you, and other than you shouting at the president.
You have me off of social media right now. I even like a nerd. I have my iPad here, and I want to keep checking it. And I can't.
What's going on? You must know. But you must be privy to a lot of gossip and a lot of inside information. So what's going on?
Here's what I think happened. I think that the Russian sanctions, the sanctions on Russian vodka have kicked in, and Nancy Pelosi's losing it. So I don't know what else to say. I'm so glad you saw what we saw, because there was definitely some malfunctioning there going on. And I don't know if that was withdrawals or she's trying to get in all she's got before it's too late. Her mouth was going. Maybe that's why we've had the mask so long. Maybe there's something going on there, and a little compulsion there that you can't control. And the mask has been covering it all
along. We will call this Spicy Bombs with Lauren Boebert. Spicy. It was a weird mood, I've covered this a lot. I've covered State of the Unions dating back like 10 years. I used to bring a little red carpet and ask people who they were wearing when there's that ridiculous performative walk down the middle of the statuary hall. And I used to make fun of it. But so I've been inside the chamber many times for the State of the Union. But got to tell you, like the energy here felt weird. Everyone was like staggered in their seats. Like nobody, like everyone seems like they've all been living in the same Upper East Side apartment building, and now suddenly like they don't know how to interact with their fellow human beings.
Right.
It was totally robotic. The speech just like didn't hit. You could see Nancy Pelosi. I'm not sure if you could see it, but it was very evident to all of our viewers. Nancy Pelosi like telling people to stand up to applaud. Never in my life have I seen like a Speaker of the House like ordering people to applaud, like you will clap now.
Right.
It was just strange. What was the mood like inside the room?
So it was a little awkward because there were a lot of Republicans that were following the protocol. And I mean, whatever, I get it. I don't like that. I know the rules. I know our limits, and I'm going to push it. And I'm going to do what's absolutely right. I even had the Sergeant at Arms tell me that it was my inalienable right to be on the House floor, not in an assigned seat and without a test and without a ticket. But it was really awkward in the beginning. Kat Kamek and I were summoning other members of Congress from the gallery to the House floor, saying, "What are you doing up there? Get down here! They can't keep you up there." And we did get people, and that's what you saw there in our row. We sat there. It was supposed to be assigned seating, and we filled it up. And so I think once things got going, it was a little bit better. When the VP first walked in and the Democrat senators walked in, I didn't bother to get up. But there were a couple heroes that soon followed. I love Senator Mike Lee, Senator Cruz. We lost video. It's all right. We'll get it back in a second. Oh, and of course, Coach Tuberville. It was really great to see them. And then I moseyed over and talked to them, and that kind of felt good again. But I mean, just the blatant hypocrisy from the Democrats on the other side, hugging each other, like you said, slobbering all over each other. When the last time we were in the House, you would get a $2,500 fine for not having a mask. And then even after the State of the Union, I put out a little video, and I said, "Look at this. We don't have to social distance anymore, because of science." And everybody's just crawling all over each other. And so it's just really awkward. It certainly was not unifying. It didn't feel like an American pride message. It didn't feel like a patriotic message, because it's not, because these people hate America. And so to sit there and listen to the lies, knowing the truth, knowing that we've read the bills, that we're not trying to just pass them to find out what's in them. We actually read them before we vote on them. And, it's just really frustrating that this is the state of our union right now.
Yeah, that's right. In 2017, Donald Trump, he mentioned the tragic death of a Navy SEAL, Ryan Owens. His widow was sobbing in the gallery. This was clearly the most viral moment from Donald Trump's first State of the Union, and this was how Donald Trump used an enormous part of his first State of the Union. Of course, it brought the entire chamber to uproarious applause, both sides, very rare. This State of the Union, it deserves to be repeated. Joe Biden didn't once mention 13 Americans killed on his watch. Didn't once mention them killed by his orders and by his incompetence.
He didn't invite the families to the State of the Union. No American citizen, other than I think the 5 people that he brought in, were invited. This is just a representation of what they're doing. This fits along with the mask. It fits along with the rules and the spacing and all of this. This is the people's house, and the American people should have been able to go to the State of the Union address. Members of Congress are usually given one ticket for a guest to attend, and we were not allowed to do that. Previous members of Congress have always been invited to the State of the Union. They were not invited this time, and Joe Biden should have absolutely had the families of those service members in there tonight and spoke to them and apologized to them, and really had a moment for them and their loss.
Truly, truly disturbing. And he has the audacity to say he's going to fund the police while Kamala Harris is sitting up there. She fundraised for people who attacked police and for rioters. Kamala Harris is sitting right behind him. He had the audacity to say he supports the military, but it just did seem, as you said, like a lot of lies. So, Congresswoman, you've been with us for 30 minutes. We deeply thank you for your generous time. I wanted to end by asking you your State of the Union. What is your State of the Union for our union today? It seems like a bit of a mess. Seems a bit scary. Am I wrong?
Yes. No, you're not wrong, unfortunately. I wish that you were. But we're living this every day. The bill has come due for these terrible Democrat policies. Now, as you know, I'm from Colorado, and we have been living under Democrat rule. They've had a supermajority for quite some time now, and we know the effects of Democrat policies and how they regulate communities into poverty and destroy everything that we are working so hard to build and create in life. And now we've experienced this one-party rule from the Democrats for the past year, and there's nothing that we can point to that is good for the American people. We have skyrocketing inflation. We have a supply chain issue. We need our logistics taken care of while, Mayor Pete's busy getting knocked up and learning how to chest feed. We have real crises taking place. We have our cargo ships off the shores, and Joe Biden thinks it's his first boat parade. I think if you look closely enough at those cargo ships, you can see "Let's Go Brandon" flags starting to be raised. And we have the southern border, and that right there, Benny, is one of the most damning things to our country right now. 2 million illegal aliens, the fentanyl that is coming into our country, enough to kill every American at least 7 times over. And that number is actually fairly old. So I'm sure that that number has risen dramatically in the past couple of months. But the children who are trafficked, the children who are left alone and confused, who are abandoned to be put in Obama's cages, our Border Patrol agents who go home defeated because they cannot do their jobs. And they said they don't need policy, or they don't need resources or infrastructure or personnel. They need the policy to be able to do their job. And it's really sad right now. We have parents, moms and dads, who are being called domestic terrorists, and that's a very sad state for our union. And I would love to get this turned around. We have to elect conservative Republicans in the 2022 midterms. Get behind people, support them, and let's take our country back. We have to have investigations. We have to turn this around. And I don't want to be all doom and gloom. Benny, if I may, just one more thing. I have hope for our country, and I have hope in the American people. And I would not leave my 4 boys and my husband every day to do what I'm doing if I didn't believe that we could turn this around. I know that God is on our side, and he is rising up an army of righteous men and women who will answer the call, who will not doubt the call, who will be obedient to it and take their place in Christ and in this world. And I am so very hopeful for all of the people right now who are taking a stand and stepping up to serve their country. My heart goes out to you. My gratitude goes out to you, all of you who are participating in making this a more perfect union. Thank you.
Can't get better than that. That should have been the Republican response. My personal opinion. And I'm from Iowa. I like Kim Reynolds, but that was fire. Congresswoman, thank you so much for being on our program.
Thank you, Vinny.
To the tens of thousands of people who watched, yes, Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, if you live in Colorado, get out and vote for her. And always follow the Congresswoman on social media. She's quite literally a bombshell. And the Drill Baby Drill.
I can't find it, Vinny.
Uh-oh.
They got me all wired up here.
The Drill Baby Drill. There you go. That's the flair. That's the flair. Eat your heart out, AOC. Oh, thank you, Lauren, for being on our program. Thank you all for watching. It's almost midnight. We're out here. We're out here trying to save America. Lauren Boebert. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Bye.